cannot be removed by a similar harm.
Okay, the methodology on this maxim suggests an occurrence that occurred during the Prophet's life offers light on the applicability of this maxim. A Bedouin urinated in the Prophet mosque, which is enraged the companions who harshly punished him. The Prophet, on the other hand, told them, "Do not stop his urinating, but rather leave him." Following that, the Prophet directed that a pail of water be poured over the urinated spot. Commenting on this accident, Al-Nawawi stated that the Prophet's action avoided a greater damage from occurring by allowing a minor harm to occur, because the masjid had already been contaminated with impurity, which is najas. Restraining him from peeing would not have benefited anybody and would have only harmed him by preventing him from urinating. Furthermore, because he urinated in a tiny area of the masjid, prohibiting him from peeing may have allowed the urine to spread to other areas of the masjid and cause him to contaminate his clothes. Other than that, from the narrative of Prophet Musa and Khidir, as told in the chapter of Al-Kafil, depict different methods of preventing larger harm by considering the smaller harm. Khidir drilled a hole in a boat to safeguard the pupil from an unjust monarch who used to capture every fine boat, and he preserved their riches from looting. Similarly, Khidir slaughtered a kid to save his believing parents from bitter grief brought on by his overpowering weakness and denial of all truth. Among other things, the second instance demonstrates that the harm done to real religion surpasses the harm done to human life. Dara is the infinitive or masdar of the verb daral yaduru, which means to harm, damage, injure, or to be harmful, nauseous, or injurious. But it is also used as a noun meaning harm, damage, and detriment. Human activities or other causes can injure a person. However, the fundamental objective of dara in this maxim is the harm inflicted by pupil. Based on the interpretation of the hadith, that is one of the principal pieces of evidence supporting it, as stated in the section on the maxim's authority. As a result, Al-Buti defined dara technically as everything that impedes the attainment of benefit or maslahah due to violation, arbitrariness, or ignorance. La darara wa la dirara. La darara means a person should not damage his body in order to deprive him of part of his right. And al-dirar means a person should not injure another person in order to retaliate for the pain he has inflicted. This maxim might be deemed to include half of Sharia, in that the lawgiver enacts all of its decision to either secure benefit or masalah, or prevent harm or mafsada. As a result, the proper application of this maxim in Islamic jurisprudence will undoubtedly result in the achievement of the Sharia primary goal, or maqsad, which is to prevent any form of harm that may inflict people in one of the most important aspects of their life, such as religions, life, progeny, intellect, dignity, and wealth. Okay, next we go to the application of the maxim in fiqh. The first one is driving over the speed limit is not allowed in Islam because it can cause accidents and harm individuals and property. We as human beings who have been given reason and grace are important to protect life, property, and honor, which is emphasized in Islam. This can be seen in the case of road accidents caused by speeding, reckless driving, or other dangerous behavior that can result in death or injury. So by following the set speed limit can reduce the risk of accidents and protect the public. So this Islamic legal maxim has prohibited driving over the speed limit because it can cause accidents and harm individuals and property. Following the speed limit can reduce the risk of accident and protect people and property. It is important for all drivers to obey speed limits and other traffic rules to help protect themselves and others on the road. Okay, the second one, in Islamic legal maxim, wasting a person's property is considered unfair because it can harm not only that person but also their family members who depend on those basic needs. To prevent such harm, the saying in fiqh, la dara wa la dira, nor harm can be inflicted or reciprocated, is used, and the judge can prevent the transaction of people who squander their property. The purpose of the judge's intervention is to take care of the family's basic needs such as food, clothing, and shelter by preventing the person from making transactions that could deplete their wealth. So, the main goal of this Islamic legal medicine is to promote justice and protect vulnerable members of society.
Next, application of the medicine in Islamic banking. Islamic banks need to avoid providing financing to industry that may cause harm to society, such as weapon factories or entertainment companies that produce content that is harmful or contrary to Islamic value. Also, companies that promote violence, gambling, or other immoral behavior can have a negative impact on individuals and society. All of these can cause harm and destruction, which is again the ethical and moral principle of Islamic finance. Second, application in Islamic banking that we usually see in nowadays is murabahah sales with installment payment, which is very related to this principle of the legal medicine. A type of taxation called murabahah is often used to help customers buy assets such as property or vehicle without acquiring interest-based debt. So the markup charged by the bank represent the bank's profit margin and is agreed upon by both the bank and the customer. This means that the bank bear the risk of ownership until the customer complete the payment. To reduce this risk, the bank may require collateral or guarantee from the customer, such as agreement on the purchase property. Our findings and discussion for this magazine is the magazine has been interpreted in various ways, including as synonym multiply kind of harm. Scholars also have categorized legitimate acts involving harm into 8 types depending on the involvement of harm and the intention of the dog. Legally valid acts that are meant to achieve the benefit or prevent evil are allowed categorically, but if they involve harming others, the intention of the dog becomes correct. So, the most important reason we should beware of taking revenge is because it might lead to a cycle of violence. Considering the potential repercussion of reaction to injury with light violence is critical, this cycle of violence has the potential to immediately spiral out of control, and it will affecting not just the individual involved but also their loved one and the larger community. We need to consider the wider impact of our action and whether responding with similar harm is really worth the potential consequences. When someone causes harm to us, it is understandable to feel angry and want to retaliate. However, responding with similar harm does not address the root causes of the issue. It is like putting a bandage on a wound that requires stitches. If we do not address the underlying problem, the harm will continue to occur. In fact, responding with similar harm might actually make the situation worse by perpetuating a cycle of violence and harm. Then, we have to know the importance to acknowledge the human capacity for empathy and forgiveness. Forgiveness does not imply forgetting the harm done or excusing the person who caused it. Instead, forgiveness is an act of freeing ourselves from the weight of anger and bitterness. Finally, the conclusion. We find that this magazine has practical application in many aspects of life, including finance, driving, and waste management. Also, Islamic financial institutions play an important role in the economy and embody include ethical principles that guide their operations. And this principle, la dara wa la dirar, promotes justice, compassion, and responsibility towards others. This can help break the cycle of violence that harm and create a safer and more peaceful world. That's all for me. Thank you.